Okay. Okay. Before we start this, by the way, uh, okay, so let me give you some backstory here. This has been going off on Twitter. A lot of conservative media outlets, especially online outlets like the Daily Wire, etc., are picking this up to talk about how kids these days, don't want to work. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this. Let me grab something to drink real quick. I'll be right back. Hold on a sec. It's fun for me just to grab a boob, plus my penis got an attitude. I can't get that out of my fucking head now. Okay. This is actually serious, okay? Uh, so, so what this is an employee. I don't know if there's any actual commentary on this. I was trying to find the original. This it looks like this person reposted it because they thought it was cringe. Starbucks barista breaks down in tears over unfair working conditions. For the love of God, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Before we start this, I am currently and I always will be on the side of the worker. If you have been here before, then you know that I'm not a big fan of capitalism. If you are new here, I'm not a big fan of capitalism. I fucking hate it. And workers have zero rights, and they get paid pennies to make billions of dollars for corporations. Um, uh, it. I will say to preface this, it's a little hard to watch, and it is a little bit cringe. Like it is a video of somebody that they're taking of themselves crying in a back room, but it's for good reason. So, and we're gonna talk about this too. And they're gonna talk about what's going on with their work conditions, and then uh, we're gonna talk about that as well. We're gonna dive a little deeper into it. So let's start this up. I hope that they didn't do some like debate where they like overdub this or something. That'd be so stupid. Okay, here we go.
People wonder why we need a union at Starbucks, and I am literally about to quit. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but like, I really want to. I almost walked out today, and I'm crying in the back room right now, and I almost cried on the floor. It's just, I'm like a full-time student. I get scheduled for 25 hours a week, and then on weekends they schedule me the entire day, open to close. I'm on the schedule for 8.5 hours, both Saturday and Sunday.
We're gonna stop it there for a second. Now, this is a point that conservative outlets really want to hammer in, where they say, "Oh, Snowflake, you don't want to work 8.5 hours? Come on. Anybody else ever worked over 8 hours before? First of all, nobody, nobody, nobody should ever have to work over 8 hours. That is an insane amount of time to have to dedicate to work. If you're having to work over 8 hours to make ends meet, that is ridiculous, and capitalism is failing you. Okay? You should not be directing your anger towards somebody who does not want to work that much. Instead, you should be directing your anger towards the system that is failing you currently, which is capitalism. Uh, Also, I want to say if you've never worked at a busy cafe or restaurant before, 8 hours running around, sweating, trying to serve angry customers is so fucking exhausting and thankless. Like it's hard to describe to people, but it's extremely exhausting and thankless. Um, and I know there's some people in chat that have worked those jobs and they fucking understand for 100% sure. Like, cause I've worked jobs where I sit all day. I've worked from home before. I've worked at factories. I've worked in cafes. I will tell you right now, serving people at fast pace is one of the most tiring jobs you can have. It really, really is. Um, and doing that for 8 hours is hard. It's tough. And if you don't know how these places work, oftentimes you don't get a break. Um, because You taking a break is forcing your coworkers into an impossible situation, because the way that they schedule people at these places is that you're basically running a bare bones crew to increase profits for the corporation. So you don't get breaks, you're running around, you're sweating, people are yelling at you, and you're doing this for 8 hours a day. So I get it.
I'm like 3.5 hours into my shift. There's so many customers, and we have 4 people on the floor all day.
4 people. Yeah, it's fucked. 4 people all day, open to close, for a busy Starbucks.
Only 5 people were put on the schedule, and somebody had to call out. And there are 4 people running the whole store, and there's so many customers, and there's possibly scheduled 5 people. We only have 13 people employed at this store, and there's so many customers. And like, we don't have fair scheduling. Managers don't care about us. Our manager was supposed to come in this weekend, and he took himself off the schedule, so he wouldn't be able to be held accountable for calling out. He just literally tore down the schedule that he was scheduled on and put up a new schedule where he wasn't on the schedule. Also, he couldn't have even seen that he was scheduled in the first place because he didn't want to be held accountable for not wanting to come in. They don't want to help us. We need a union because this can't happen. This can't happen. We need fair scheduling. We need managers to hold themselves accountable for helping their workers. They refuse to turn mobile orders off. We need the liberty to be able to do that because there's so many mobile orders, and I need to get...
Touching on this point, I worked at a cafe that had mobile orders. It was very common that we got to the point where we had to turn mobile orders off. You got a line all the way out the door, a group of 20 people all waiting for drinks and food, and then you got mobile orders dinging in on a Sunday morning. You have to turn mobile orders off because if they keep coming in and there's more customers, you can literally get backed up 45 minutes, an hour for a fucking coffee. It's happened. I've been there, and it's the worst thing ever. Running a Starbucks, which is everyone is demanding and needs their drinks fast, without the ability to turn off the online ordering that can put you behind further, on top of that, only running with 4 people all day is almost an impossible task. And anyone who says that this person is lazy or entitled because they don't want to do it and they're having a rough time, they need to work that shift to understand how hard that is.
Through all of them, and then people are yelling at me because I don't have their orders ready, and they don't know what to do. And a customer was misgendering me today, like really badly. I didn't have their order ready, and so they were just like talking to each other, and they're like, "She's clearly incompetent." I have a full mustache and beard. What the fuck? I don't get.
Yeah, people are absolutely disgusting. And when they're mad at you, they'll do anything they can to make you feel bad and belittle you. And that's what they're doing to this person.
Accommodations for being neurodivergent. I don't... Like, I can't use... Like, people get mad at me for using my sick time. I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm, like, at my wit's end with this job. I really am.
But that's the end of the video. It's pretty short. I'll never understand people that behave that way towards employees. It's this, and here's the thing. It's the same people who say that those employees are like entitled snowflakes are the ones that act like the most entitled snowflakes. It's fucking monstrous. It's like, how? How is this possible? Murica. But yeah, that is popping off on Twitter right now. A lot of conservatives are coming, are coming to the table to say, oh, this is ridiculous.
Right now,
these snowflakes, they can't handle a job. What's also not said in the video, but was said when this was posted online, Evan, the barista, he is also a full-time student. So when he's saying I got scheduled all weekend for 8.5 hours both days. That and he's also working. I think he's working 23 hours a week at that Starbucks. It's also on top of full time school, college, um, and that's fucking hard. I think what is full time college start? Is that 30 credits? Something like 30 credit hours. It's just a ridiculous amount. So it's just Starbucks does not care about their employees. And this is important too, because he does mention the exact he mentions the solution. He mentions the solution to the problem. Um Unionizing. And what's important about unionizing, my roommate just got back from working there at Starbucks. It's tough. It's a tough job. But the thing is that what's important about unionizing is that you can it's collective bargaining. Everybody that works there should be working together to make sure that they're taken care of there. It's really hard, especially in the US, because it's illegal but also so common to be union busting.
Some customers that I had at Pizza Hell would be really nice at first when taking their order, but would lose their shit if something was wrong. It was a mixed bag. Food service isn't worth the constant berating from customers when there's any error made.
That's absolutely true. It's rough. People are mean. I had people that were mean when they were ordering too. But yeah, I mean, the solution to that problem is unionizing. Even if, okay, and this might be a hot take that people don't like, or they don't understand the reason why you would do this. Even if you're at a job that you love and you're very taken care of, it is not a bad idea to unionize, because at the end of the day, the people who are over you are looking out for profits, and at any moment that script can flip on you, and you can be in a position to collectively bargain and protect your job and protect your fellow workers. I work at a place that I really love and enjoy. They've been unionized for forever. I don't know if that I wasn't there when it happened, but I don't know if that was like those things coincide, but sometimes, I mean, I don't know if those things coincide, but the management there loves the fact that we're unionized and supports that, and it's a very healthy environment, and that's how it should be. You should want your employees to be happy working for you, because then you get a better result. But I mean, that's just like long form of saying I support unions. You should also support unions. They're good for workers. Another thing that I think that is a big problem with the service industry is that they don't it's just now becoming a thing where people in the people in the service industry are just now realizing that unionizing is possible for them, because pre this decade or the last decade, like, people are getting really informed about unions. People didn't know that you could unionize any workplace. Unions were meant for trade jobs and shit like that, but you can unionize anywhere, and it's good. It's good for everybody. I mean, there's a fast food chain in Portland that's completely unionized. Yeah, it's great.